welcome back, everybody. We're back with my full review for episode 4 of Daredevil Born Again. This might be, so far, I think maybe my favorite episode of the series yet. It had a good pace. It was a quicker pace than the first few episodes that we had. And things are actually starting to develop, and the story's developing going forward. We find out a lot of things in this episode, and we see a lot of things. People come back that we have known were going to be part of the show, but we actually see them. I talked about that in my quick thought video. So just to get into spoilers and my actual review of what happened, if you haven't watched yet and you want to go watch the episode before you watch my spoilers, hop off now and then come back and watch this. Or if you don't care, already have watched it, feel free to just write it out. We see it start out. I have to say, I thought the cops that Matt fought in the apartment, I thought he killed those cops. I mean, I thought kill moves, but he didn't kill them. They were, because he was talking to one of them in the courtroom again at the beginning of the episode. So Matt's kind of struggling with Hector being killed. He's asked questions about if they found a casing at the scene of the crime, and no casing was found. He's suspicioning that the cops were behind it, but he hasn't came out and said it. You see Hector's niece come to the morgue. Matt talks to her, and she says, we know the cops did it. And you see Matt's kind of has this internal struggle where he's not fully trusting the system like he has been telling everyone he has. Especially after Foggy and now after Hector. You can see it's weighing on him. As the episode progresses, Matt actually finds the casing, and he's able to feel a skull scratched into it, which prompts him to go visit good old Frank. And so we see Frank. It's just for one scene. But Frank and Matt actually have a very emotional exchange, and I wasn't expecting that, and I liked that. And John Bernthal and Charlie Cox sold that scene. I mean, they did a great job. The emotional depth of those two actors was phenomenal in that scene. Charlie and John were both crying. I mean, Matt talking about Foggy and bringing Foggy up, and John telling him to say his name. I mean, it was great. Acted very well. We know that's not the last we're going to see of Frank. The behind the scenes photos that were leaked, his hair's shorter and he's shaved when he has the skull on. So we know they're going to team up. But I think that's what, as Frank said, Matt came there looking for permission. And I think that's what Matt was doing. He needs someone to tell him it's okay if you put the cowl on again. The city needs you to put the cowl on again. And I think with what else happened in the episode and set up, Matt's going to feel that and know that in the next episode. We saw Muse at the very beginning of the episode. He's carrying a body. We see his mask. Then we see him again at the end of the episode. And the body he was carrying, he has it down in his lair. And you kind of see his lair. He sticks a syringe in the guy he was carrying, and he's siphoning the blood out. Which is Muse's whole thing. He paints artwork with his victim's blood. So that's going to be set up, and I think that's what's really going to draw Matt back out as Daredevil. we see Fisk and his wife are in counseling together, and they brought up the whole affair and the Adam thing. And Fisk admits that he had a conversation with Adam, but it was just a conversation, and he doesn't know where he's at now. Which, of course, you don't really believe it in the moment. And the therapist, she asked to talk to Vanessa herself and asked her if she feels safe around Fisk. And she says, oh, yes, of course. And later in the episode, Fisk and Vanessa are having dinner, and she asked Fisk, Wilson, she says, I told her I did feel safe, but should I feel safe? Because we saw Fisk blow up on his whole staff earlier in the episode over the leak that came out over this project he was going to be working on that the kid leaked out to BB. And so you see that he still has that rage. But at the end of the episode, you see this dichotomy take place. You see Matt wakes up in his bed, which I want to give kudos to that scene before I dive into it. We see Matt in bed with the therapist. We saw them kiss a couple scenes earlier, and then we just see them in bed. I want to give kudos to that, because this show's rated TV mature, and they definitely could have gone way more nudity-filled route with that, and a sexual route with that, but they didn't. They showed them kiss, and then you see them in bed together sleeping. And I want to give a shout-out to that, because I think that was done very well, too. We didn't have to see the whole sex scene. They didn't have to go there to show that. We already know that they are. They've established that in that scene, but we didn't need to see it, and I appreciate that. But we see Matt wake up, and he's going up to the rooftop. We see Fisk goes down to, this basement, and we see him eating this dinner, and you hear a guy's voice, and then you find out that Fisk has Adam and has been holding him in a prison cell in this lair. And Fisk is just eating this huge meal while Adam is begging him, to let him out. And so it's showing that Fisk is still evil and still has that evil. And Matt goes up, you see him open this, almost looks like a shed or a closet, but you see all the cows sitting in a row like this, and then you see Matt grab a box, and Matt goes out on the rooftop, and it's the billy clubs, and you see him go out on the rooftop, and he just starts spinning them and twirling them, and he's just practicing like he's getting ready. And I thought we'd see him back in the suit this episode, but I think he's getting there. We saw him. This was a clip that we'd seen in the trailer, him on the rooftop, practicing training. So I think we'll see him in the suit next episode. It was rumored that before they revamped and retooled the series, that we didn't see him in the suit until episode 6, I want to say, in the suit. But they retooled it so the show kicked off with him in the suit, but then we haven't seen him in the suit since then, and we're 4 episodes in. So I think it might still be episode 5 or 6 before we see him back in the suit. I hope it's 5, because if they do 6, I think there's 9 episodes this season. If they wait till 6, that's only 3 episodes that he's in the suit. So I hope we see it next week that he's back in the suit, tracking down Muse. I think Fisk's overall plans is going to come out. We'll see that. I think Matt and Frank are going to ultimately be taking on the cops because they're corrupt. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, I just think this show is just very well done. It's very well wrote. Just very well done. And you have to pay attention to things or you'll miss things or be a little bit confused. Just like I was confused with the cops. I thought Matt had killed him, but apparently he just beat him up severely. Another thing was the guy, Leroy, that he was helping this pro bono case, makes a scroll comment in this episode, which I thought was interesting because we haven't had a scroll comment since Secret Invasion. They just kind of act like that didn't happen. So I thought that was interesting. And I also thought it was interesting. There was a lot of influence put on the Latvians, which I thought was interesting because we all know who comes from Latvia, but the MCU is doing a different Earth of Doctor Doom, so I don't know if he's still going to be from Latvia, but I thought that was interesting. There was a focus. There was 2 scenes where it was kind of mentioned. I thought, that's interesting. Fantastic Four is just about to come out, and we're talking about Latvia. I thought that was interesting. But yeah, I just thought it was great. I really loved the Frank and Matt scene. I thought it was great. They put their all into that scene. You can definitely tell that this is a passion project for Charlie and Vincent and John as well. He loves that character. And it's just so good to see them take this so personally and professionally, and you can just tell that they have a care and a love for these characters in this story. And I just love that, and I eat it up. So I can't wait to see how things go with the show. I can't wait to see how things progress. I can't wait to see Matt and Frank teamed up. I think we're going to see a lot with Muse. I think Fisk is going to start getting more and more. I think he's going to be more angered and more rage-filled. And we're going to see that play out. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it, my review on it. Let me know in the comments what you thought. If you like it. I know I've seen complaints that people think it's slow and it's boring. I also saw complaints, not really complaints, but they've just said that the viewership is way down on this show. And it's lower than Agatha all along. And now I saw today that they said viewership is lower than Echo was. I've seen some comments on those posts, though. And here's the comments I've seen. A lot of people are waiting to binge this show like they did with the Netflix series. I prefer the weekly episodes as opposed to binging it. It gives you time to process everything that's happened, to get a review out, to talk about it throughout the week, and then come back to it. It also keeps people talking about it for weeks as opposed to just a week or two when you binge it. So I prefer the weekly, but there's definitely a lot of people out there that just want to binge this show when all the episodes are out and they're waiting. 6.5 years was a lot of wait for me. You know, I want to see this and I want to see it every week. So I guess that would be my answer to that. I don't think they can base viewership yet until the whole season is out. So that's my thoughts. Let me know in the comments if you like it, if you don't, if you still think it's moving slow, or if you think it's picking up, if you like it. I highly encourage this show. If you haven't watched it yet, you have to check it out. Yeah, like, share, subscribe. It definitely helps. It's very important to share and to subscribe. So if you haven't yet, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything. Check out my Facebook and my Instagram. The links will be in the description. You can follow me over there as well. I do shorter videos and reels on there as well as other things. So go follow me on there. And I hope everybody has a good night. And we will see you on the next video. which will probably be a Reacher review in a couple days. So we'll see you then.